The people of Venice, in an online poll, have voted in favour of breaking away from the rest of Italy and establishing their own independent state. Over 2 million residents of the historic city, as well as its surrounding region of Veneto, took part in the survey, already described by the media as an online separatist movement. It was organised by local independence parties and lasted for 1 week. 89% of the participants said they favour independence from Italy. Of course, the result is not legally binding, but is only meant to galvanise support for a bill calling for a referendum on the independence of Venice. The separatist movement is being driven by the government's alleged inability to stamp out corruption, protect Venice's citizens from a damaging recession, and control wastewater in the poorer south. For more on this, from Washington, I'm joined by Dr. Webster Tarpley, author and historian. Welcome to the programme, sir. Dr. Tarpley, first of all, how likely will Venice become an independent state, given its cultural and financial attachment to Italy and other Italian tourist attractions?
Well, I don't think it's very likely. We have to remember that the Venetian Republic was an oligarchy, and actually a very sinister oligarchy, which existed until the time of Napoleon Bonaparte. It was ended by Napoleon in 1796. And Venice, the Venice region, the Veneto, became part of the Italian kingdom at that time in a plebiscite or referendum in 1866. What we're dealing with here, I think, is a publicity stunt. It is a group of right-wing activists, and they've succeeded in building up some interest in the fact that they've set up an online poll. Now, whatever claims they make about the number of votes and the outcome, those are anybody's guess. They have no legal value, and they're also not being guaranteed by any particular institution. I don't think even a bookkeeping firm, an accounting firm, nothing like that. So they're saying that they want to break away from Italy. Now, there's a political party that has been talking about the same demagogy for about 20 years. It's the old Lombard League, which now calls itself the Northern League. And the Northern League is somehow behind this, although it's not to be excluded that financiers and bankers have also contributed.
Right.
So I think it's a largely discredited initiative. One of the reasons that the Northern League is interested in breaking away, or interested in making noise, let's say, is that the new Italian election law was supposed to have a provision which was specifically designed to save the Northern League. This is the so-called Salva Lega, but the Salva Lega doesn't look like it's going to be included in the election law. So I think the Northern League is attempting to get some attention this way.
Right. And of course, Doctor, comparing this independence poll in Venice with what happened in Crimea, I mean, don't we see a kind of double standard or even hypocrisy on part of the Western world when it comes to dealing with issues like this?
Well, certainly the hypocrisy is that the media, the Italian media, have been relatively silent about this. I think a lot of international media have been hyping it. I was just looking at the British press. They're fascinated by this idea because they think it also goes together with Scotland. Let me warn everybody that the CIA is promoting the breakup of national states, right? The policy is mini-states, micro-states, failed states, partition studies, and so forth. And we've seen that in Yugoslavia, Sudan, Iraq, Libya, many other places. The question of Crimea is an authentic vital necessity for the people of Crimea to get out of the failed state of Ukraine and to join the much more successful nation state of Russia. I think that's a perfectly legitimate thing. But what you're dealing with here in the Venice area is fundamentally a bunch of rich people who hate southern Italy. They hate the Mezzogiorno, and they don't want their tax money to be sent to Rome and then on down to Naples or Palermo or Reggio Calabria or places like this. So I think it's the political judgment in these cases has to be very different. In other words, a formal analysis that says, well, they're all referenda and they're all secessions. I don't think this will cut the mustard, because in this case, this is a very sinister initiative, whereas the Crimean one, I think, has overwhelmingly positive content.
All right. Dr. Webster Tarpley, author and historian for Washington. As always, thanks for your thoughts, sir.